I saw that, Taylor. Put the headphones back on.
Dude, I can't be posting with some big ass
People
aviator.
People are gonna think you're professional.
They're gonna think I'm doing a farmer's podcast in the field.
What?
When farmers do podcasts, there's like 6 of them sitting down. They all got like airplane.
What is in your feed? What rabbit holes are you going down? Put your headphones down.
This is ridiculous. Look at this cord all distracting.
It's just a test, that's all.
I get a haircut every week, and I didn't this week, so I'm feeling scraggly.
That's insane.
Everybody says that.
That's insane.
Everybody says that.
I get a haircut, and then I get one like 6 months later.
Yeah.
And sometimes I finally want to get a haircut, and it's usually like on a Sunday or a Monday and they're all closed, and I'm too impatient, so then I just buzz cut my head.
Your hair changes every week, though. You always got a different look. Everybody knows that about you.
That's why, like, when I showed up at the office and just like, what the hell? Like, I went from like a years of growth into complete buzz cut. And Carolyn was so mad about that. She was so mad. I had to agree to adopt a cat.
Oh. Well, you took one for the team, I guess.
I did. We can use all that, of course, in the podcast.
You sounded like Howard Stern. Like, if I close my eyes, I swear I could not tell the difference between you and Howard Stern. That's it's good.
What does that is the headphones. If I was, this is the first podcast that'll be made in the garage studio in Baton Rouge, kind of brought to you by Gordon McKernan, the brainchild of Gordon McKernan. It's me, Alex Ludwig, the marketing director of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, and Taylor O'Brien, better known as Tailored Technique by everybody. Much more visible, and so no one really knows who I am. But he's also made me known for being on a billboard with Gordon. And so I want Taylor to talk about that a little bit, because I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I started, I think I brought it up to you one time, but you say you didn't remember. But I was like, what's the most amount of views y'all have on a video? And I think it was like 60,000. So I was like, if I get it, think I could be on a billboard? You're like, I don't know, we're going to have to talk. Well, then when we hit over 60,000. I kept bringing it up. You're like, I don't remember saying that. And then I think one day we was with G filming, and I brought it up. And he was like, you want to be on a billboard? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll put you on the billboard. And so when he did it, man, it was the coolest thing, because it was positioned right by my apartment. So every day when I went home,
we picked that one on purpose because it was close to where you live. But no, I remember when you texted me. I think I was living in the van in Bishop, California. As a matter of fact, that's where I interviewed you from. And you're like, hey, we hit however many views on the video. Can I be on a billboard now? And I was like, what is this guy talking about? Like, we don't put other people on the billboard. Gordon goes on the billboard. I was like, I don't even think we ever had another attorney on the billboard, much less someone from marketing. And so I'm like, you'll have to talk to Gordon about that one, right? I was like, I wasn't going to shut you down or anything. And ultimately, it's up to Gordon to make those type of decisions anyway. And I did not expect it, and I just kind of brushed it off. But you kept coming at it, and then eventually it was like, okay, it'll make Taylor really happy if he gets on a billboard. So we designed something special for you. I'll find that so you can kind of put it on here. And do you still have the vinyl for that?
It's in my closet. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. They're like, hey, here's the billboard. I'm like,
14-foot by 48-foot vinyl with Taylor and Gordon's head on it. I was put up in Baton Rouge, just tucked away in his closet. Maybe one day when you get a form or something, you can post it against the side of your barn.
That's what I was thinking. Next time I get a form, I'll probably just lay it out.
And I say that because someone's actually done that. Sean Squirrel Burrell, one of the NIL athletes, we put him on a billboard. When he eventually came down, he reached out to someone on the team. I don't remember who it was. But he was like, yeah, Sean's asking if he can have the billboard, the vinyl. We're like, really? Okay, well, let me reach out to Lamar and get it. And next thing you know, they put it on their barn outside of Zachary. I don't know if it's still up or not, but we thought that was pretty cool because it showed how much it really means to some people to get involved in that type of marketing and be showcased in that type of way, where they're not usually showcased. Probably especially for someone like that who isn't in like the most recognized sports, like LSU football, baseball, so on, but yet is a world-class athlete, track champion, Olympic hopeful type of athlete. So that was really cool cool experience. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the billboard with you there. But
my apartment complex didn't let me put it up.
They won't let you hang it from your little Juliet balcony.
I pay rent here. I mean, come on, I'm decorating.
Dude, 14 by 48 foot. So let's see, that's 400.
That's half the building. That's probably the building.
That is like 60% the size of my house.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so big. And I don't know.
We got a banner to tow behind an airplane at the LSU Alabama game this season, and whenever we were working on the production of it, it's 30 by 60 foot. And I thought about the foot. I'm like, oh man, that's my house is like about 1,100 square feet.
Wow.
Like that's bigger than my house flying around LSU, and we're working on another one right now, hopefully for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
All right, well, we're gonna get behind the brand a little bit. So one of the reasons I love having this platform going into the future is lots of people always have questions about the marketing that we do, right? Gordon's marketing is probably the most visible marketing in the state of Louisiana. Also, from the top down, Gordon encourages creativity and excitement around a lot of the stuff that we do. And so that comes out through me, through you, through everybody in the department. And with that, we end up going viral here and there for various projects or various creatives, things like that. One of the most recent ones I can remember that you were heavily involved in is the Gator hunting with Will Campbell. And that actually, that made some national headlines. Athlete gets NIL deal and goes gator hunting, on ESPN and stuff like that. So it was a really cool thing. And I remember Gordon's he's had that idea, like, I want to go gator hunting with somebody. And then we finally, Will was the perfect one because he's such an outdoorsman and was ready to do that. But you were there firsthand with the crew out there. I was not. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, man, it was a good time. Will, he always grew up a Louisiana guy. So, like, he's done this a million times. We're all in the same boat. There's like 3 of us. Will's the size of, 3 dudes. So trying to video Will as we're like pulling up to these things, it's a little difficult. And then trying to maneuver in the boat, especially when the first few lines we picked up was empty. And then we were like, Ramsey, I know you didn't get us out here with these bad baited alligator hooks. But we ended up starting.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, he was late. He was supposed to meet us here, and then
and he had his engagement party that night.
Same night.
Yeah,
a few hours later.
Well, you talk about Will being outdoors, man, and born and bred for that stuff. You have a thick accent that some people would probably associate with that, right? Have you done a lot of that?
A lot of hunting?
A lot of hunting, alligator stuff like that?
I went with J. Paul and his dad one time, but it was just to record because all my outdoor friends, they know I'm not with the outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's
like
J. Paul and that's the swamp
people guy. Yeah. But my buddy Hunter, he's an outdoors guy, and they know like I like the sports, I like staying inside, and so when you get me out there in the natural environment, like they're like, oh, well, Taylor's out here, so we gonna all have our cameras, and we had drones.
Oh yeah.
But it was messy. It stunk. It was just, it's just.
People probably wouldn't realize that you and I basically, for much of our life, grew up on the same street.
Yep.
Because I don't have much of it. When people go, oh, you're from home, and they're expecting like some thick accent. But I feel like most people I grew up with didn't really have. Like, of course, you had some people who had it, but it wasn't like every single person. I remember going to when I was in college, I went to Indianapolis for a fraternity retreat thing, but it was a national one, so there's people from all over the country coming to it. I went check in, and they saw my name and home of Louisiana on there. They're like, "Oh, say something!" Like that was the first thing the guy who was checking me in told me to do. Say something. I'm like, "I'm Alex Ludwig from Houma, Louisiana. Good to meet you." And he's like, "Oh."
You ain't from
he was so disappointed because he was expecting me to have just this most Cajun style Creole accent, right? And I can't even fake a Cajun Creole. I'm not even gonna try it, right? But it always found it funny. Like people are just expecting that. They think it's like 100% everybody down there. And again, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of it, but there's so many different styles of it, right? Whether you're down the bayou in Houma or Lafourche to St. Bernard Parish and you got the Yad accent, or you're on the west bank of New Orleans, or you're more over in Acadiana, or further up north where it's more of like a twang in the Monroe area. So I just had to divert off to that for a little bit.
I think Baton Rouge has more of a southern accent, like Prairieville area. They're more southern. But I think it was because I worked in Port Fourchon for 7 years, where everyone in Galliano, down the bayou, you know, and you're picking up phone calls from guys on the rig. So basically, you just interacting with that for 7 days, and then you go home.
That I did not experience. I wasn't down there often, and that's true. Whenever we hired you, you were driving big rigs down in Port Fourchon, right? So. And I think your most viral video is you talking to, and like on your last day or last week, talking to a coworker, telling them about this new opportunity you got, right?
Yeah. That was Devin. He was someone I had hired, and then we lived together for 7 days, and then we were off for 7 days. So you're with these guys as much as you're working with them, you're living with them. So I was told not to tell them till the end of the hitch, so they didn't freak out or whatever. But yeah, I just mic'd this up, put the camera on the side, and went tell him I was leaving, and he gave me a bunch of well wishes and memories, and it took off. So that was cool.
That's really cool. Well, looping back to Will Campbell and the gator hunting. So I remember sending y'all out there. I was confident we were going to get some good stuff. You like to stress out here and there
stress a little
about some things, and I'm like, we're at a minimum we're going to get something good, right? Or actually, at a minimum, we're going to get something that no one else got, right? There's no other marketer or law firm in the state that's going out and getting this type of stuff and getting this organic exposure because of it. I was like, so at a minimum, we're going to get you stuff we can utilize. Like, what you're doing. But I was like, in best case scenario, we're going to get something awesome. And I think it was definitely more towards the awesome than the, okay, we got something we can use. Because when you got it back, and especially when you worked on the sound effects and all that and added in some music, when I went and watched that first cut, I was like, oh, like I feel like I turned on the Travel Channel and I'm watching like or like a
Swamp
People or something like that, where it was put together so well, but it was still very organic, and adding the music, the sound effects, all that really freaking helped with it. Did you run into any like audio issues or anything like that throughout?
Yeah, because every other curse word that some of the hunters were using was not going to be able to be replayed. So before every take, I'm like, hey guys, let's try not to cuss on this one, but it was a good time.
I forgot about that. When you got back, I remember you asked me like, hey, like how can we have cursing in here? And I was like, no, we should probably avoid it. And you were just, oh, this is going to be really hard.
That was the hardest part. It was just trying to drop the volume on those words, because it's funny, the whole time, because Will was trying to get in the boat and Ramsey was driving it wrong, and he's like, Ramsey, would you just, and that was the funny stuff that I wish we could have played.
What you did a super cut of Will consistently like, Ramsey, hold the boat, Ramsey, right? What was he telling him?
Ramsey just is sometimes not paying attention, and so we was trying to like grab the lines out the water, but when he kept going forward, because he's talking, he's like, Ramsey, back up.
Ramsey, back up. All right, Ramsey, back up. All right, back up. Ramsey, back up. Hold on, Ramsey, back up. Ramsey, can you back up, please? Ramsey, back up.
He kept overshooting it, so Ramsey he's a good dude.
Yeah, he became an inadvertent star of that
distracted.
Of that cut, because he was just kind of so goofy, and he was having a good time, and that's good for stuff like that. So, God, that was a good time watching that.
That was good stuff. It was a long day, but we all had fun. We met early, ended up getting donuts, and we wrapped up quick. But we knocked out a good bit of gators, and then whoever had to clean that,
and we were gonna save that for. I mean, obviously you're going gator hunting, right? So it's like, oh, let's drop it the week of the Florida Gator game, but Florida just they weren't that good this year.
Yeah.
And we were on the heels of like two or three straight wins in a row from LSU. So Gordon was like, launch it now, right? Like, so once he could study, like, let's do it. He's like, oh, let's do it now, right? And so I was like, oh, okay.
All hands on deck.
I was like, we're ready to, but it was just, we ended up launching. I forgot who we were playing that coming weekend, but it was, like I said, it was on the heels of a couple wins. So it was like, all right, we push this out. Everybody's happy about LSU. They start seeing this. They really start sharing it, and everything's positive about it. Because obviously, when you're coming off of a loss, or especially a series of losses, like we had this. I think we had 3 losses in a row at one point this season. And then you share something like that, you get some negativity in the comments, like, oh yeah, they shouldn't be doing stuff like that. They should just focus on football. Like every single hour of their day is going to be completely all encompassed by football, right? And don't get me wrong, it's probably the vast majority of their life, but it's not 100%.
Right.
You know, there's got to be something. I mean, they're also students, right?
Yeah.
And they got to put some effort to it. And so, anything else about the Gator hunt?
No, I wasn't expecting to get as much good content as we did. A lot of times, I never know what I have until you get back, but I think it turned out really well. Everybody had a real good time. You know, everyone was just, and then you're scrolling and you see it on different people's feeds of like NIL star signs to go hunt gators. Like, they're like, what are y'all doing down there? Like, hey, we hunting.
Yeah, all right. Well, then we're going to move on to the next thing, the marketing verdict. And so this is a quick segment that I came up with on a whim yesterday that I figured we could do, where whoever's on with me, I throw out 2 ambiguous, broad topics, pit them against each other. You got to kind of pit one and tell the reasons why you're choosing that one, and it'll be something relevant to, you know, the stuff you work on or the things that you do. So, and this, as we talk about it, we hopefully reach a verdict that we agree on, right? Or we have a hung jury. So on this one, we're going to go long form content versus short form content, keeping it obviously ambiguous, vague. You know, that can mean 1,000 different things, right? So if you had to choose long form content or short form content, what you going with and why?
Short form.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going short form just because the attention span that I have and then the audience has is very low. It's easy to consume. People might think it's easier to edit, but really it's not, because now you got to squeeze it in tighter. But when I got long edits, man, you could smell my brain start like just smoking because you have so much going on and you want to cut it so fast because you're built for views. So I think the long form, you don't really get a good ROI on social media wise unless you're a YouTuber and you have the demonstrations and everything. But I think for the main part, short form is going to be always the go-to for a quick virality hit.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if you can change me to your side over here. So we might have a hung jury because I'm gonna go long form for a couple of reasons. One, long-term brand building. I think if you do long form consistently, I think it's going to resonate more and more and more. People are going to get to know the person much better. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Long form, like, you know, something like this. It takes two seconds to run it through an AI system and get 20 short forms from it, right? But it was no short form that you plan for, right? Like there's nothing that we're doing in this conversation where I'm like, okay, during that, I'm going to make sure we get some short form on this or that. Just kind of let the conversation flow, see what the AI comes up with, tweak it some more after that, and then we end up with long form. We end up with short form, planned out short form. I find that can be difficult at times, man. Like, because you're trying to hit all of the check boxes of that perfect short form video in 15, 30, 60 seconds, right? With the hook and the certain things you want, and it having a resolution at some point in the end and leaving them hanging in the middle for a little bit, so hopefully they're staying towards the end. And it's a lot to think about. Whereas when you're just off the cuff like this, if you can kind of hook them in up front a little bit and be relevant to them, hopefully it'll resonate long term. So does my cheat there bring you over
cheating.
to my side?
It's definitely cheating because you're making it long. You're saying short form is actually better.
No,
because you're pulling short form from long form.
I'm saying long form's better because long form lends itself to easy, organic short form that you otherwise would not plan for. Like most of the stuff that we'll pull short form from this, it's nothing we would have been able to plan for, but right. Some of it might be better than any short form we would have ever planned for, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I get that, but that's still short form. So like short form and long form, you talking about, hey, let me get some short form from the long form.
Okay, how long does it have to be to not be short form?
Anything I think over 30 seconds or a minute is long form.
Okay. Well, then I'm taking the 30-minute podcast and cutting it up into 10 to 12 other long form pieces of 60 seconds.
You might get maybe five good clips.
I call BS on that.
Yeah, because these AIs don't really give you good clips though.
Yeah, well, I'm not just depending on the AI. What I'm saying is there's going to be little bits of it that if you really look at, you put some thought into it, and the more you do it, the more intuitive it's going to be for you. You're going to get stuff that you're like, oh, this probably wouldn't perform well. It might be you're talking about some random topic, but man, you put the right little title card on it, or did something right at the beginning, and it flows through, and the audience votes that to you basically by their watching of it, that this was actually a better one than, and I know you've experienced this where you pump stuff out all the time. You're like, this is gonna freaking hit, and you pump it out, and you're like, that sucked, right? And then you send something out on a whim, just like, I just gotta get something out there, and all of a sudden it blows up because for whatever reason it resonated with the audience, or the algorithm picked it up at the right time, and you just so happen to post it at the right time in that moment, right? And obviously you can try to game all that with the algorithm and the right posting time, but most people, at least me, like if I'm posting out there, I'm just posting whenever the hell I have it ready, because I don't have extra time to be thinking about that, at least for myself, right? Yeah. For the firm, I want us to be thinking about that, for what we're pushing forward. But back from that tangent, long form, over the long run, I think it's just going to be better for overall brand building, because you're going to be more organic, you're going to be more natural, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And granted, I know if you're doing planned short form, you're going to get good at that, but getting better at a long form type of content, I think pays way more dividends than getting better at short form.
Yeah.
Like if you're on camera.
I
agree.
And
and obviously there's different variations of that where like not everything has to be people on camera. Right. So
yeah. No, I agree with that. I think long form is definitely important. Like you say, it builds the brand. Each one got its own. The shorts are for virality, awareness, and then once you get all that, you go to long form. But I think for me, the easiest and best ROI is just short form because of the edits that go involved into long form content. Okay, I can see a return quick on.
So you're not gonna come to my side because you're too impatient.
I'm gonna stay right here, and then when
you got to get that hit in the moment, right?
Yeah, I need that virality hit, and then you send me the long form, and we make it short form, and then now we're cooking.
Okay. Well, another thing I do like about long form, and I'm gonna get off of like cutting it down, right? Things like when we did Grubbin' with G, and we had Kim Mulkey, we had Angel Reese, obviously the Will Campbell going gator hunting. What I honestly love to do with those, to get them in front of a bigger audience and get them shared more for the full episode, is when we launch those on YouTube, and obviously we're launching the little short versions on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all that, and hopefully pushing it to the long form. We'll set up just a low budget ad campaign on YouTube where you take the 12-minute long form gator hunting with Will Campbell piece, run it as the ad, and so it gets eyeballs directly on the long form piece. And if it is good long form like that was, all of a sudden you start seeing, oh wow, the average view time of this is 4 or 5 minutes. 33% of people watch the entire 12. So like people are willing to watch it if it's something that is of interest to them. And so obviously you have a balance of it, because if we're doing just like straight up legal talk, how you have to be very story driven with that. And there's some people out there that do a good job of it, that I'm hoping that we, with this and with our attorneys and bringing them on, we're going to start getting a lot of that, because there's some very interesting stuff in the work that we do on the legal side, and stories that just kind of blow your mind that are worth talking about. And like I said, there's some guys out there that are doing a good job of it, but there's also some guys out there that are all just like 30, 60 second hits that are doing an amazing job at it. But some of them built their whole brand through TikTok. And now we're on the verge of a potential TikTok ban.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen.
What? Okay, you don't think it's gonna happen. What do you think is gonna happen?
I think they're gonna ban it Sunday.
You think Mr. Beast is gonna swoop in and save us all?
I think somebody will. I don't know if it's the new administration, or we just don't know what could happen. I just don't see something like that a lot of people made their living on can just be vanished. And the worst part is CapCut being gone. You know.
Yeah. So that came to my mind the other day when they were talking about the TikTok ban and it becoming closer and closer to potential reality. Like I said, who knows what was going to happen with it, because that's a big thing to happen, and it's kind of unprecedented from a government intervention standpoint. Like, yes, you had platforms that were big that disappeared, like Vine and whatnot, but it was because of they couldn't monetize it, right? Mm-hmm. And it just kind of fell off the cliff. This is a government intervention thing, sets a weird, dangerous precedent. And, whether you're on the side of banning it or not, just that aspect of it is kind of, outrageous, kind of scary. Ultimately, if it gets banned, we're just going to find the next best thing. Something is going to take its place. The attention is going to move somewhere, whether that's pre-existing places like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and future iterations of those. Because obviously, if it gets banned and nothing swoops in and really takes its place one-to-one, all of those other existing platforms are probably going to be making some adjustments to try to gain as much of that audience that was otherwise on TikTok. And they're probably using the other platforms, but now they can't spend any of their time on TikTok. Like, let's grab that over on ours, on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram, and so on. It's a crazy little scenario, but then I thought about, like, I literally pulled up CapCut to edit something. I'm like, wait, doesn't TikTok own CapCut? And we looked into it, and I found that one CapCut replacement where their coupon code was bye CapCut.
Yeah, and it
I was like, that's good. That's good marketing with the coupon code. I liked it. I was like, bye CapCut.
But it was a horrible product. It's like editing on a Game Boy Advance.
I've never touched it. I just saw the email. I wasn't recommending it. I sent it to you to go look at the coupon code on this thing.
That's good.
Because CapCut is what got me to kind of jump into creating a little bit, like just on my own to have fun. There's lots of stuff I created that I haven't shared just because I like getting into the weeds of it, understanding it, and playing around with it. 'Cause I think it helps me do a better job for y'all. I mean, y'all are way better at it, but it helps me do a better job for y'all to understand it, at least to a certain extent, and jump in and kind of ruin y'all day a little bit with some ideas I have that are half fleshed out.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I tried opening CapCut today, and it's just upsetting because you could just get into CapCut on your phone or like laptop so quick, and now you got to go into DaVinci.
How many followers do you have on TikTok?
I got like 161,000.
And then how many, and more important than followers on TikTok, how many views do you have on TikTok?
I don't know the view. That'd be cool to find out before it went away.
I think I know.
You know the views?
And maybe not views.
I got likes.
Your engagements. I
think it's like 11.8 million.
Okay, yeah. I looked at your profile before we hopped on here because I was like, I need to know this.
But it means nothing now.
And yeah. And then the Gordon account, I think we have 21,000 followers and probably over 1 million likes, or maybe nearing that. I don't quite remember.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy how many people are just so invested into it. And they don't even have Instagram.
What's in your kind of brand building of Tailored Technique before and during your time at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, what platform do you think has propelled you the most?
I would say definitely TikTok. Just because of the organic reach. I remember going, videos just circulate more on TikTok. Like you can go get the Kim Mo, it had 25 million views. You ain't never gonna see a 25 million view on Instagram in that same respect.
Yeah.
So even YouTube Shorts, I mean, I've got millions of views on the Shorts, but they just do not get around like on TikTok. But I would contribute TikTok to be the biggest, and then I would just take my TikToks and upload them to YouTube Shorts.
Okay. So it's close to home for you, because it was a place that really helped you grow, see the excitement of people taking in your content and knowing that, hey, man, I'm putting out good stuff. People are resonating with it. People like it.
Yeah.
And now that's kind of going away, and you're having to find what if it does go away, right? Or at least, hey, it temporarily goes away. Maybe it comes back later. I don't know all the legal processes of it, but let's say it goes away. What are you doing?
Well, I've got a good YouTube following, but I just don't get on YouTube to consume short form. I'll get on there to research tutorials and everything. I really like Instagram, but what you post on Instagram really doesn't do anything at all, Yeah. But I like going live on TikTok. That was fun.
Yeah.
We'd have 800 people while I'm eating crawfish.
I remember I hop on TikTok a lot more now than I did back in the day, but every now and then I'd hop on it just to see how the Gordon account was doing, and then I built my own, and I got like 21 followers. Right, really proud of that. But I'll scroll through, and then all of a sudden Taylor's live, and I remember like seeing like it shows you like everybody who joins. I remember like the first guy was like, oh no, like I don't want to see that I'm watching them. This is weird. And then like as I kept seeing it, I just started commenting like, "Sup, Taylor?"
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm gonna miss that the most. I think the lives, because I've been wanting to go live a few times lately because I'm getting some energy back. I want to get back in front of the camera, and then it don't even matter.
You had 800 people watching you eat crawfish.
Yes.
And you were just kind of BSing, talking to camera.
They love my accent.
Okay.
It was the accent.
God, I got to get one of those now.
Yeah, I don't notice I have it until someone calls it out, and then when they call it out, I just go thick on it. Thick. So yeah, I'm gonna miss that for sure, because there's no other platform you really, even Instagram Live isn't really, it just feels so cold. Like you're only getting like 5 people, 10 people.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their phone right now.
Yeah, TikTok obviously pushes it heavy because I get some random crap in my I'm scrolling, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 guys buried like at their head in the dirt in Africa. And they're just and like some of them just looking at the camera. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe this is entertainment out there. But and then scroll, and there's like, here's a live feed from a Vietnamese corner store, and it's like, what is this stuff?
I know it gets weird.
It gets a little strange. But I'm like, and maybe that's the app trying to learn who I am. Like, I guess I haven't seen that as much lately. So I think as I started engaging, I see a lot more. A lot of movie-oriented stuff because I like to engage and look up movies and little things like that I'll never find on my own and go and watch them, especially creepy movies.
What other stuff you have on your algorithm?
So lots of movies, movie rankings, creepy shows, a synopsis of some shows I watch, like the show From on Amazon Prime. I get a lot of stuff for that. Anything related to our brand, I get a ton of. But I mean, if I pull it up, 90% of it it's usually movie focused stuff. Reviews, people, especially like creepy, like creepy horror movies. Like I like looking through that stuff, and then like they'll recap one, and I'll go look it up. I'll go look at the trailer. Sometimes I'll go to Wikipedia and just read the entire plot summary, and then decide if I'm going to watch it. Because sometimes I like to know exactly what's happening in those movies before I go and actually watch it, because you can pick up all the little directorial cues that went into it. They're giving you hints throughout, and it's fun to kind of pick them up.
So you learn the movie before you go watch
Sometimes, not always. Okay. Not always. Because I'm not really a rewatcher. So if I watch a movie once, I rarely go back and try to find all those things. But if it's a movie I'm like, oh, that would be fun to watch, but I'm not like super invested in being surprised by it, I'll go read the summary and then look for the little details throughout that you otherwise wouldn't pick up on.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're in a new year. New year, no TikTok, potentially.
Okay.
Obviously, everybody's setting goals for the new year. We're almost 3 weeks in. Any big goals for you this year?
I'm definitely just gonna get more active on social media. I mean, it's now is not a good time since TikTok's leaving, but it kind of makes you got to stretch out a little bit with your creativity. We got the new podcast studio. So, all that creative energy going around, I think it's good to use it and to promote creative ideas with others. A lot of people, I was on a podcast the last 2 days, like a virtual one. So it's like seeing everyone get back into that flow of creating and like networking. So I'm going to try and keep riding that wave of just continuously posting and
love it,
creating. What about you?
And then for the work, for the 8 to 5, right? As the marketer, I have to ask, right? I need something related to our work. So, what's a big goal for you to happen this year with the work we do for the firm?
Well, definitely would like to see some really cool stuff coming out of here. It'd be cool to see some different type of guests and, the different things that they'll talk about. I know we've expanded into a new market, so it's going to be really cool to see the development and the growth of that and finding little things that we can catch on to with that market. And then, of course, we're going to try and get the 1 million viewed video again. Firm-based.
All right. So you heard it from Taylor. He's going to get us a 1 million view GMIA, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorney's video. That's a video that does not leverage the involvement of LSU, NIL, or other brands. It's something that is unique and fun enough for our brand that it just catches a viral storm.
Yeah. It's not going to be on TikTok, though. So it's going to be harder.
It's going to be harder.
It's going to be harder.
You probably set that. I remember because I asked you a while back, you probably set that goal before you realized it might actually happen, the ban. All right. Well, for me, let's see. Personal goals?
Personal first.
Okay. My probably biggest one this year, I'm not drinking at all this year.
What?
Not drinking any alcohol this year.
Wow.
My wife and I were talking about it, and we're like, let's just not drink alcohol in 2025, right? And it's been 17 days in, and I haven't really thought about it, right? Of course, we haven't been to any parties or anything like that, but I just want to be sharp this year.
Yeah.
I want to be super sharp. I don't want to, even when it's just a couple beers and a little sluggish in the morning, I want to avoid all of that. And I want to be super sharp and focus really on the work, marketing. For me, I love the job. Right. With Gordon, and marketing is a game to me. Y'all see that whenever we go through the numbers and the data, and I'm strategizing, and I'm going, my brain's going faster than when I can speak, and so I'm having a hard time keeping up with myself, much less y'all keeping up with me during those meetings. And so I try to pause and go around the room and everything. But it's a game to me, and I'm trying to play Monopoly or Risk or something like that, or and you're trying to outmaneuver the competition, right? But more importantly, trying to gain the most for yourself, right? And all of that. And so not drinking, I think it's a big thing that'll help kind of push that forward, because my focus will be a little bit just more towards that. And instead of having a beer on a Thursday night, I'm finding something else. It's Friday evening, and I was like, oh, Friday evening would be perfect. That's one reason why I picked it, right? I'm like, Friday evening would be perfect for me to do a podcast, because I need to fill some time with something different, productive, exciting, something that I'm going to get just all into, right? Because when I pick something to get into, I go. You talk to Carolyn, he goes all in on it, and it just consumes his time, and then I fall out of it, and then I go back in and all that. And then from the health perspective, running, I did all that stuff last year, the marathons, the ultra marathons, and I haven't run now for 3.5 months, and so I need to jump back into it. Having some trouble with that, but I'm gonna get back into it. But that's probably my main thing for this year personally. And then for work, it's just you see it. It's
I would like for you to go home. I would like for you to go home one day, because I'm convinced, and everyone's convinced, he don't even go home, because we get there, his car's there. When we leave, his car's there. He goes, eats lunch. You see him 2 seconds in the fridge, and then he's back in the office. So just try and go home sometime this year.
Yeah. Carolyn she'll like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, but that's about the goals. You got anything else top of mind? That's how I like to end the meetings. Anybody else got anything top of mind? Last chance.
No, I think this is really cool, and just hit different areas of marketing, and it'll be cool to see once people start flowing in and out, what we could chop up from long form and then make it short form.
Oh yeah. So I forgot about that. So hung jury for the marketing verdict.
Yeah, because I'm riding with short form.
And I'm riding with long form.
Hung it.
All right. Well, that's what we're gonna do. Well, I want to take one last second to just talk about the space, right? This will be one of the first times people are seeing anybody sitting in the space, and we're still making some tweaks and adjustments to it. Brandon, say something.
What's up?
Jamie. Can we call him Jamie?
Jamie. That's what y'all said before.
No, man. No, he's his own guy, man. So we got Brandon kind of seeing it forward and doing a fantastic job, man. I'm so glad that that Gordon
We'll throw
and,
some
and
graphics
Joe.
up on the screen so you can see with the studio and all the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
You're a wizard, bro. I mean, really, it's very impressive to see like
Thank you.
when you do your thing.
I wish I had a camera on me right now, but
We'll get one on you pretty soon.
We got that other Sony we could hook up to you.
Yeah. It's just like kind of like putting all the skills I learned at my previous jobs together. I've done lighting, live sound, mostly photography and cinematography work for my main, job for the last 10, 15 years. So I'm just being able to put all that together and create something like this is really meaningful to me. And also I just love seeing things grow really quickly. So I have a good feeling this place is going to blow up real quick.
Love it.
Perfect energy.
Yeah, I mean, so Brandon's been fantastic coming on board because he's seen this studio forward. On this, you can kind of, I think Gordon's calling it the garage studio. All right, and so I've been kind of saying the garage studio brought to you by Gordon McKernan, and whatever the podcast name is, like the marketing verdict at the garage studio brought to you by Gordon McKernan, featuring Alex Ludwig, marketing director, Taylor O'Brien, videographer, right? But ultimately, this is one of the first peaks that anybody will get to see, kind of some of the long form and short form content of it. But outside of just the space that you're seeing here, it can fit more people. We're gonna have podcasts that have 4 people, and maybe even more in the future. There's a big cyc wall over to the side where we can shoot some stuff. There's a green screen that we have coming down. There's some various corners where we'll be able to do some other more intimate, maybe just 2-person at a table type of shots. So it's definitely something that is building out its legs, and I think it's going to be really successful in this coming year. And it's going to be a great asset to many people in the community that Gordon's going to utilize it for, as well as a place that people will be able to rent out and utilize for some good purposes. But I mean, it's coming together awesome. So everybody be on the lookout for more coming from the garage studio from Gordon McKernan. With that said, I'm Alex Ludwig.
I'm Taylor O'Brien.
And this was the marketing verdict.
That was good. It was good.
And cut.
Regulars.
Who's that?